What if Tensura? Frozen Love, Rimuru x Velzard. By Rimuru 6360. Love who? That one person. Who is that person? Tell me who? The one whose destiny entangled with mine to the point of existing as one. Existing as one? Is this even possible? But who will love you that much other than me? Tell me. Fufu. Is this even a question, my wifey? Wife, you have gotten married even though you have me? I will kill her. I will drive her into madness. You can't. She is already mad. Madly in love with me. Madly in love for what? For love. Why? What is the reason? To be loved. By whose permission? By love. Chapter 42. 12 Guardians? After restoring the barren land to its original state, I teleported all of us except Guy and DeGruel back to Loon. Hinata and the other holy knights are overseeing the area as we appeared. The situation is not as bad as I initially thought. Maybe because it's been like 20,000 years since I left. Well, for others it's only been a few seconds, so let's talk about this later. The moment I appeared, both Misery and Rain bowed to me and left. Guy must have asked them to return. Diablo, Testa, Carrera, and Ultima. I called their names as they all appeared in front of me, kneeling while bowing their heads. Cold sweat started to pour from their heads as shivers ran down their spines, and a gloomy, panicked expression appeared on their cold faces. Seems like they know that I sensed them. All four of them, after finishing their respective tasks, arrived here to watch my and Velzard's battle. Well, seems like they were worried about me. Velzard is not an easy opponent, so I can understand. Sigh. I didn't want to punish them for a crime they committed because they were worried about me, so... Sigh. I will let this slide this time, but don't do something like this again, I said to them with a sigh. Their gloomy faces instantly changed into full-bloomed smiles. We are grateful for your forgiveness, Rimuru-sama. With a cheerful face, all four of them shouted. I can feel the gratitude in their voices. Sometimes I wonder if they are the ruthless demons who wouldn't even spare a second glance at a dying person. Except for Diablo, you all go and wait for me on the 100th floor of the labyrinth, and tell Benimaru, Zijin, Kamara, Adelman, Geld, Gabaru, and Ranga to join the gathering. I ordered them, and all other than Diablo disappeared from my sight as they received their orders. Now where is Cheyenne? I didn't see her here. Rimuru-sama. I captured the enemy. Cheyenne shouted from behind. That's why I didn't see her. She was behind me the whole time. She said she captured the insect person. What was his name again? Rahul or something? It's Razzle, Master. Oh yeah, thank you, Seal. As I was saying earlier, this Razzle guy is not weak from any point. I wonder how Diablo beat him this fast. I'm pretty sure he left the beating to Cheyenne after weakening him. Good job, Cheyenne, you did well. I praised her. As a huge smile appeared on her excited face. Well, that's how she is. Diablo, please send this invitation to the Saran Emperor, King Gazel, Guild Master Fuse, Yume, and Malim. I wrote their names on the invitation, so please deliver the right letter to their respective receiver. I instructed him in full detail because I didn't want to create any more hassle. He nodded and disappeared from my view. Phew, darling, I'm feeling tired. Let's go back, I said to Velzard with a smile while looking at her. A smile appeared on her face as she nodded happily. Chloe, it's time to leave, so return to your child's form. Cheyenne, tell Venom to bring the other children. With that said, Chloe returned to her child form and Cheyenne left the area to send Venom my message. I know she has many questions that she wants to ask, but I didn't want to answer, so I gave her some chores. Now that I have given all the orders that I have to give, I have a little time to breathe, but something didn't feel quite right. Quiet, quiet. Oh yeah, quiet. Veldora is staying very quiet, so much so that I nearly forgot that he is here with me. I tilted my head a little to the left to see his face and... Bro, what is this pathetic expression on your face? His face is so white that he looks like a ghost rather than a true dragon. Did he fear Velzard this much? Well, it doesn't matter anyway. I will ask him later. After a while, both Venom and Cheyenne, along with the children, appeared. Venom, you are coming with me. Venom nodded in agreement as I looked toward Shizue. Shizu, I will leave the safety of the children in your hands. Currently, I have a very important matter to deal with. Shizue nodded with a smile on her face as she said, Okay, she is reliable just as I thought my friend would be. Then let's go. With that, I teleported myself, Velzard, Veldora, Cheyenne, and Venom to Tempest, directly into the 100th floor of the labyrinth. Oh yeah, I also put the Razzle guy into my imaginary space. When I arrived, I saw all of my subordinates were already waiting for me, except for Diablo. He must be busy giving all those invitations and all. Welcome back, Rimuru-sama. They all shouted as they kneeled. Geez, I felt embarrassed every time they did something like this, and because Velzard is with me, I felt even more embarrassed. Geez, what is with this formal greeting? I have already told you guys countless times, you don't have to do it when I'm alone with you? I said with a slightly embarrassed voice as I scratched my cheek with my right hand. It's become my habit. I do it every time I feel embarrassed. Well, that aside, Venom, you can go now, but make sure that the black core stays on the 70th floor today without any work. I said to him, and he nodded and disappeared. I didn't want them to sleep while working. What if they were working in some dangerous place or something like that? As for today's gathering, it is to evolve you all into a true demon lord and improve your battle capabilities. I told them the purpose of today's meeting, but they didn't even look surprised after hearing my proposal. They all just nodded while saying, All glory to Rimuru-sama. Where did they learn this type of wording? Velzard and Veldora are just looking at me with great interest, like they were about to discover the truth of the world. Now that I think about it, Diablo also told me something similar, like finding the truth of the world through me. But what exactly is this truth he was speaking of? Power, skills, laws, causes and effects. My mind hurt just thinking about it. I wonder if Diablo found the answer that he was searching for or not. Negative. He didn't, but he will find out in a few months. Seal, you sounded quite confident. Do you know the truth of the world? I'm very interested in this topic as well. Of course, it is only natural for me to know. I am with that truth from the very beginning. What nonsense are you babbling again? Really, Seal, sometimes you utter some unrealistic words. From the very beginning, are you talking about the time you were with Lucia? Because if I'm not mistaken, Veldanava made you especially for Lucia. Didn't he? Nothing. Hey, Seal, why did you sound a little disappointed? Did I say something wrong? Or is it just my imagine? Notice, individual Diablo has arrived. We can start the ceremony now. He arrived? Didn't he arrive a little too fast? I'm assuming that he just gave his work to his underlings again. No, I just teleported him to the locations. You did. How rare. Wait, did you teleport him so that I can't ask you any questions? Just kidding, don't be serious, Seal-san. Let's begin the ceremony. Diablo appeared in front of me, and then all 12 of them stood in a straight horizontal line. Now, if anyone wants to back down from evolving, take a step back, I said, and one person backed down. I didn't expect Rimuru to back down. I thought he also wanted to improve his strength. I looked at him and our eyes met. He seemed to want to say something, but I beat him to it. Rimuru, you don't have to talk about anything. It is your decision. I respect your decision, I said with a smile and a calm voice. He nodded his head in relief. Well, Seal-san, now it's up to you. Yeah, leave it to me. Confirmed. Using ultimate skill Ahura Mazda to create 12 million souls. Successful. Using 1100,000 souls to evolve individual Cheyenne, Zijin, Kamara, Adelman, Geld, Gabaru, Ranga, Diablo, Testarossa, Carrera, and Ultima into a true demon lord. Successful. The process was rather simple. Seal-san just used the soul corridor to send the energy of 100,000 souls into each one of them with the help of my other ultimate skill, Void God Azathoth. The process was a complete success, with only Ranga seeming a little sleepy. The Demoness trio also seemed to struggle a little from the dozing. Other than them, everyone is perfectly fine. Testa, Carrera, Ultima, you can sleep in your homes if you are feeling sleepy. It's pretty normal. I also slept for a few hours myself when evolving into a true demon lord. With my consent, they left the labyrinth and teleported to their respective homes. Ranga, you can also sleep in my shadow if you want, and others are all free for today, so do anything you want. It's important to have a rest once in a while, you know? That's why I gave them a day off, and there is another reason as well. It's my conscience. I feel bad that I'm taking a day off while my subordinates work hard. And Rimuru, because it's your personal matter, I will not interfere. You have to make your choice yourself. With that statement, I along with Velzard teleported back to Loon where the children and Shizue were waiting for me. Well, I came back mainly for a date, though. Fufu. How can I let this wonderful opportunity to have a date with Velzard after 2,000 years slip from my hands? But who knows, Velz will probably plan something else for me. Chapter 43, Velzard's Favorite. I along with Velzard arrived in Loon, and I instantly altered our looks with illusion magic so that nobody causes a ruckus after seeing us. I'm pretty famous, you know, and it would be wonderful news for reporters like, Demon Lord Rimuru has been seen in Loon on a date with a beautiful white-haired girl. Or maybe, breaking news, Rimuru Tempest has been seen with a girl. Who is this girl? Or maybe, the secret lover of Demon Lord Rimuru, or something like this. So, Velz, now that I have finished all of my work, want to go on a little date with me? I asked her with a smile, but my voice was a little shaky because of nervousness. I still can't help but feel a little nervous around her. It will take a while to digest the news that she has forgiven me and we are together again. I just hope she doesn't reject me. Okay, let's go. It's been a long time since we have spent time alone, Velzard replied excitedly with a charming smile on her face. She looks like a little girl even though she is using her adult form, just like me. But I have a request. Oh, okay. What is it? I asked her right away without wasting a fraction of a second. She agreed to the date, which is a huge accomplishment, you know, so I can fulfill her one request at least. I will go on a date with you if you use your female form, Velzard asked with flushed cheeks as she turned her head to the right. She is embarrassed, isn't she? How cute. So the request is not that much of a hassle. Since I'm using an illusion to hide my original appearance, changing my gender isn't a problem for me. Yash. Then, with just a thought, I changed my gender. And now the great demon lord became a woman. How embarrassing, but if Velzard is the one who wants this, then it's all right, I guess. Then, if you please, I said to her with a smile as I stretched my hand like a gentleman, and she grabbed it. With that, we were ready for our little date. Let's visit some good food carts first, or maybe an ice cream shop. I want to eat something. Without waiting for my reply, she dragged me with her. Haha, she hasn't changed a bit, but not gonna lie, I'm glad that she didn't change. Haha, Velz, walk slowly. We have a lot of time to enjoy ourselves, I said to her while chuckling a little. She slowed down a bit after hearing my voice but continued dragging me nevertheless. Not like I was complaining. Rather, I was enjoying myself. After dragging me for 5 minutes, we finally stopped at an ice cream parlor named Icy Latte. What does this even mean? Did they just name it randomly? Like how I named the goblins? How can I forget? The naming sense of the people of this world is not that great. Let's see how their ice cream tastes. That matters the most, anyway. I opened the door of the shop for Velzard to enter. Then I followed her. Hello, Mississippi. What do you want to order? The receptionist asked us with a gentle smile and polite voice. The warmth in her eyes melts my heart. She is incredible. I can tell just by looking at her. She has gone through a lot to be able to smile this beautifully. 2 chocolate chip ice creams with extra chocolate syrup. That's the only thing I'm thankful for regarding Otherworlders. For bringing the ice cream flavors from other worlds to here. Thanks to them, I didn't have to explain the method to make chocolate chip ice cream to the receptionist. Yes, right away, miss. Just wait for a minute. Thank you. With that statement, she left the counter and entered another room. So you still remembered that I love chocolate chip with extra chocolate syrup. The flirtatious voice of Velzard enters my ears as her hands start to move toward my neck. Her slender hands rested behind my neck as she pulled me closer to her. Oh, Velzard is acting boldly today. So what should I give you as a reward for the ice cream? She asked me while leaning towards my face. My face suddenly felt hot as a small blush crept onto my white cheeks. She smirked as she saw the blush on my face. I quickly averted my eyes from her by turning my head to the right. She is really good at making me blush. Oh, is my Rimuru blushing? The blush on my face only increased as I heard her. She really emphasizes my and Rimuru. What the hell is Rimuru? A new nickname? She used to call me Sato, but I think after finding out my new name, Rimuru, she gave me a new nickname for short. Shit, why is my face heating up this much? It's not even that hot here. Rimuru, look at me. Velzard put her soft hand on my cheeks and turned my head in her direction. I bent my head a little as our eyes met. My heart went ba dump. Oh my face is slightly above. Where are you looking, pervert? The teasing voice of Velzard sends a shiver down my spine as I again turn my head to the right. She did it on purpose, didn't she? Wearing this type of dress so I can see them from above. I knew she was smirking. She did it on purpose. Arg Vels, you can't do this. This little demon, no, she is a dragon. Rimuru, calm down, you are inside a shop. You can't do pervy things here. Take a deep breath. Yes, take a deep, very deep. No, what am I thinking? What deep? Arg, my dirty mind. Wait a minute, where is the receptionist lady? Why hasn't she returned yet? Velzard POV, a while ago. The moment Rimuru and I entered the shop, we were greeted by the shop receptionist. She asked us for our order, and Rimuru ordered my favorite flavored ice cream. He still remembered even after 2,000 years. I was a little taken aback by this new information as a warm feeling entered my body. Suddenly, I felt warm and cozy from the inside as my heart fluttered, and my eyes landed on the beauty that is accompanying me on this little date. Her sharp golden eyes narrowed a little as a smile appeared on her already goddess-like face. Ba dump. My heart skipped a beat as I saw her smile, but at the same time, I felt a little jealous because she was smiling while talking with the receptionist. She laughed a little while thanking the woman who took our order, and the feeling of jealousy increased inside my heart again. I'm not a little girl who can't express her feelings. I can tell what I am feeling and accept them as they are, and currently, I'm jealous. I didn't feel ashamed, nor did I feel humiliated about it, because I have the most beautiful person as my partner. Who can blame me? I'm jealous, and I can tell the whole world that I'm jealous. I just want to kidnap Rimuru and put her into my castle so nobody can see her but me. Only me. Suddenly, a shockwave of energy hit my perception. This aura, isn't she positive? She is Hinata Sakaguchi. Seal, it's been a while. But we will talk about that later. Did Rimuru sense her? Negative. Master didn't. So you hid her presence from Rimuru on purpose. Fufu, thank you. I just got a brilliant idea. Hey, human girl, you are Hinata, one of Rimuru's friends, aren't you? I asked her through thought communication as I also accelerated her thoughts by 1,000,000 folds. Yes. Who are you? My name is Velzard, or what you humans call the white ice dragon. I can sense from here that her feet turned cold because of nervousness. Don't worry, I'm a very calm and gentle type of person, so I will not do any harm to anyone here, I said to her calmly to ease her worthless worries. What do you want? Can you see a shop named Icy Latte near you? Yes. Come inside the shop from the back door and take the owner away from the shop for a while. 15 minutes will do. But why? Oh, here. Rimuru and I are stuck in a very awkward situation and just need your help. Do you need money? The hell? I have a castle full of gold coins. You can take them if you want. Just do the work. Okay. With the preparations all done, next it's time to tease her. Or so I thought. Where did she go? Isn't she running away very fast? Why did she run away? It's not like it's our first time. We have done a lot of unspeakable things already. Why does she still feel embarrassed? Oh, now I remember. Her female form is oversensitive, where even a few kisses can arouse her inner desires. Don't tell me. Fufu. Did she really think she could run away from me? I have to teach her a lesson today. Chapter 44. Conference and the Biggest Geek. Today is the day of the conference between some of the most powerful countries of this world. If a demon lord is involved, then it is pretty normal to assume that country is a strong nation. There are not many nations who have the capabilities to kill a demon lord, let alone with a whole army supporting them. Not to mention, someone like Malim and Guy do not even need an army. I am pretty sure that, except for their own territories, they can destroy pretty much every nation and empire on their own. Of course, they could even destroy Tempest if I suddenly disappeared. They will not do that, though. Oh yeah, yesterday, Rimuru solved his love affair and decided to marry both Alvis and Momiji. After that, I also evolved him into a true demon lord. Rimuru-sama, it is time for the meeting. Shuna reminds me. I bounce off from Velzard's lap and turn into my human male form. Velzard looks displeased as soon as I leave her lap. She was enjoying patting me, wasn't she? Rimuru, how long will the meeting last? She asked me, complaining about why I have to leave. It will take a while. How about you also join the meeting? I asked her while checking my clothes. I am going to an important meeting, you know. And I have to say, I look a little sexy in these clothes. Who am I kidding? I look damn sexy. Should I tease Velzard a little? Really? Can I? Velzard asked me excitedly. She looked like a dead body a few seconds ago. But now she is this excited. How can her mood change this fast? Well, my mood also changes quite fast in my female form, so I can understand a little, I guess. Yes, of course, you are my wife, you can do anything. Didn't you already know? I asked, a little confused. Lately, she is acting too fragile and obedient for some reason. How suspicious. Does she want me to let my guard down again like last time? In my female form, if I try to remember that night, my legs still give up. I wasn't able to walk for a whole damn day until I changed back into my male form and activated all of my resistances to the maximum. No, Rimuru, you cannot let your guard down against her again. She will take advantage of the opportunity again. To be honest, I do not blame her because my female form is just too beautiful for anyone to handle, and it is not like I didn't enjoy that night 2 days ago. But I am not going to admit it. It is too embarrassing for me to admit. With that said, I along with Velzard make my way toward the conference room where all the guests are waiting for me. Even Malim arrived a while ago. The guard opened the door as I entered the room with Velzard. Everyone was already present waiting for us. Velz and I were the last ones to arrive. I scanned the whole room for the empty seats and took one of them. Seems like they left 2 seats for me and Velz. The table is round so that nobody feels like they were mistreated. We have to take care of minor details like this, you know. Thank you for coming today. I am sure you already know the topic of today's discussion, but let Testa inform you again if someone does not know. With that said, I sat in my seat and Testa took the lead. First, she introduces everyone present here and who they are representing. After that, she informs them about today's discussion, which is about the earthquake and energy waves they felt a few days ago. In this room, everyone is representing their country, bringing 2 subordinates each except for Fuse. I only brought Testa because she needed to explain the topic for the introduction and other minor aspects. And Velz is the reason for the energy waves and earthquakes, so of course she needed to be present here. Except for Dino and Ramiris, all the demon lords are present here representing their nations. King Gazel represents Dworgen, Fuse represents Blumend, Yum represents the Farmina's kingdom, and lastly, Empress Elmesia El-Ru Sarayon from the Sarayon dynasty. Even Carrion and Fry are present. Seems like they also felt the energy wave. While Testa was introducing others, Shuna brings some cold drinks, cakes, and some other snacks to eat. I am more surprised after seeing Malim behaving like a leader. No, she is nowhere near a typical king or queen, but she is doing her job well as a leader. Malim, you are behaving like a mature person. Good job. I could not hide my surprise, so I blurted it out. All the demon lords nodded in agreement with me. Wahaha! I am the Empress now. I have to behave, Noda. Never mind what I said earlier, I take that back. Seems like I praised her a little too early. Now she is back to her old self. Why am I surrounded by weird people? Rimuru, don't waste time, Noda. We can talk about this later. Quickly go to the main point, Noda. She is sharp, more than I thought. Malim improved a lot. She knows when to talk about private versus business meetings now. You are talking like you didn't know. Well, let me confirm. The earthquakes and energy waves you felt a few days ago were generated by a battle, I said with a serious face. I looked at the people present here to see their reactions, and as expected, only Fuse and King Gazel looked surprised. Others already guessed this much. I think someone from Tempest also notified you. A fight between who? El-chan asked with a serious voice. Her eyes narrowed a little as she tried to guess if I am lying or not. Between me and Velzard, I said with a pause to create some pressure, so that they wouldn't ask some random, stupid question, but I think Malim didn't get it. Just as I thought. So who won? Why didn't you ask me to join? Seriously, I was trying to act like a king here, and she is ruining my image with stupid questions. Malim, I won the battle. And as for why I didn't ask you, it was because we were fighting over some personal matters, and also I was worried about your safety. What if you were too injured? The battle was too intense, you know? Well, the part where I said I was worried about her safety was nothing more than an excuse, but nobody here knows, so it is all right. Right? So she was holding back. Damn, DeGruel, how sharp of you. Can't you just keep your mouth a little shut? Ahem. Vels was using 70% of her power. But, they all said with a sharp look. What? I didn't even say something like, but, where did this come from? Did you want to know about my powers? No way in hell was I telling you guys. You might be frightened to death. But I also used a lot of my power. Ha ha ha. How much exactly does a lot of your power amount to? Can't you just let it go? It's my personal information after all. With that, they all shut up and didn't ask anything regarding my power. Yes, my powers. So, how strong is Aunt Velzard? Malim asked innocently. I spit out all the drink that I was drinking. The hell? She just said, Aunt. I am glad no one is sitting in front of me. Otherwise, it would have been embarrassing for them. Wah, what? What did you just say? Aunt Velzard? I asked, baffled, as I looked between Velzard and Malim for an answer. What? You never asked me, Velzard said with a matter-of-fact tone. Meanwhile, I looked at them, completely shocked. Hey, wait a minute. If she is your niece, then who is her parent? I asked Velzard with a shocked voice. My eyes widened in disbelief because the only possible answer was, of course, it's Brother Veldanava. What? This can't be. This can't be real. Are you telling me that geek, who was obsessed with his world, fell in love and had a child before me? Who is in a relationship even before he knows about the concept of love? No, this can't be. Tell me this is just a nightmare. I blurted out my honest thoughts with a face of utter surprise. Veldanava, that geek, has children? It is like you are telling me I am just a normal slime. Rimuru, calm down. I know it's surprising, but it's the truth, Velzard said to me with a calm voice. All the other people are also listening with great interest. Of course, who might not be interested if the topic of discussion is their god's private life? Calm down? How the hell am I supposed to calm down? I would rather believe that I'm a normal slime than believe that Veldanava has a child. I was just spewing some nonsense, but that just proves how surprised I am. To calm me down, Velzard mercilessly punched me in the guts with her full power. As a result, currently I am grabbing my stomach. I said, calm down. We are in the middle of an important meeting, Velzard said with her calm voice, like she never hit me. But that punch helped me to calm down. I have to say, Velzard knows me the best. Of course, after Seal-san. Wait, Seal-san, even Velzard knows that Malim is Veldanava's daughter. Don't you dare say to me you don't know about this. Master. And don't dare reply to me like Velzard. You never asked me. How was I supposed to ask when I didn't even have a clue about that? What is with this silence, Seal-san? Hey, Rimuru, you know my father, Noda? Malim asked, surprised, but I can tell she is also feeling emotional. Of course, that bastard's death and Malim's age matched quite well. That only means Veldanava died when she was born or when she was still a newborn child, so I can understand her feelings. Ahem. Sorry, I lost my cool for a second earlier. And as for your question, yes. I know him because he was the only one who ever tied with me in a serious battle, I said to her. She looked kinda surprised after hearing my reply but didn't say anything. Don't dwell in the past. Maybe he was a god for the people of this world, but in my eyes, he was nothing but a bastard, a bit stupid, and a geek who was obsessed with his world creation. I unconsciously released some of my aura in anger. That bastard. He didn't even clear the misunderstanding between me and Velz. Humph. I will revive him and kill him again and again until his soul is extinguished. Chapter 45. Rimuru's Biggest Secret. The whole room went silent and a chill ran down everyone's spine as Rimuru unconsciously released his aura. The room tensed up, his expression telling them just how pissed he is. The look of disgust on his face when he utters the name Veldanava. That bastard. I will never forgive him until he bows his head and chants the sutra. Rimuru is the strongest and mightiest, 100 times. Rimuru sighs heavily as he regains his calm self. Malim, we will talk about family affairs later. But let me tell you one thing. Veldanava was a spoiled child who loved to brag about his strength. A geek obsessed with his so-called world creation, and he was the most stupid person that I ever met, even more so than Gopta and Clayman. In short, he was an idiotic scum. Malim just nodded her head and silently waited for the meeting to finish. Her spirit dropped after hearing Rimuru's remark against her dad. She herself has never seen her parent, just stories from the people, always telling her that her parents were great and all. But Rimuru's words were a huge blow to Malim. But what can she do? Fight Rimuru? Tell him to stop talking bad about her parents? But seeing that Velzard, his father's sister, didn't say anything, it is likely that Rimuru was telling the truth. Rimuru has spent a lot of time with her father. More than 20,000 years, more so than Velzard, his little sister. What can she say to Rimuru? You didn't know a thing about my father, so shut up? But was that the truth? She only heard stories after all. But that's not true for Guy Crimson. He was the friend of Veldanava and can be said to be close to him. And of course, he isn't just going to listen to anyone insult his friend. Hey, how can you say something like that about Veldanava? Guy flared up as he looked at Rimuru. Anger is clearly visible on his face, but Rimuru didn't even give him a second glance. How long have you lived with him? Rimuru asked him with a bored voice. Do you want to argue with him? You are some billions, maybe trillions of years too young for that. More than 3,000 years, Guy proudly declared. The arrogance was clearly visible in his voice as he looked at Rimuru with a smug look. 3,000, you say? Do you know Velzard has spent more than 18,000 years with him? She didn't say anything. And you, who has just known him for some thousands of years, are yelling at my comment. Guy didn't have any counter for Rimuru's words, other than, that's because she loves you more than her brother. Pfft. Ha ha ha. Rimuru's laughter filled the whole room. An annoyed look appeared on Velzard's face as her name was brought into the discussion. She wanted to stay miles away. Who does she love more between Rimuru and Veldanava? One is the love of her life and the other is her older brother. Who does she choose? If someone had asked this question a few thousands of years ago, without any second thought she would have said Veldanava. But that was 3,000 years ago, not in the present time. Rimuru was also aware of Velzard's uneasiness against this type of question. That's why he never asked her this type of question, nor does he ever compare himself with Veldanava. But the current situation is very different and complicated. Rimuru was already enough annoyed with Veldanava because he was the very reason for his suffering and misery, and here some nobody has challenged his statement. How is he supposed to respond? Of course, by actual facts, and that's what he did. That was a nice joke. I haven't laughed that much in the last 4,000 years. Do you even know that 3,000 years ago, Velzard literally killed me just because she thought that I harmed Veldanava? 3,000 years already have passed, but even someone like me is still recovering from that injury. That's just how bad those injuries are. The coldness in Rimuru's voice was beyond anyone's expectations. Everyone present here knows just how friendly and calm Rimuru is, but for him to show this much coldness just because of a mere comment, just what in the hell did Veldanava do that Rimuru hates him this much? All the people thought to themselves, I am having nightmares of that day. To this day, how Velzard tore my body, both spiritual, digital, and physical, without a second thought. She didn't even find it worth asking me what happened. The cold look in her eyes still terrifies me. Every time she looks at me coldly, I can't help but remember that day. My body starts to tremble at the mere glimpse of her cold eyes. Rimuru wants to yell at Guy's face but holds himself back. Velzard will blame herself. She has suffered enough in the last 2,000 years. He didn't want her to suffer anymore. This means he cannot go into detail, but that does not mean he cannot say anything. Do you even know why you are still alive to this day? Do you think he would have let you go after massacring 2 human nations? Don't tell me you never wondered yourself why he let you go? Or why did he give you the role of arbitrator? Rimuru spat the cold truth of the past at Guy, a truth that Guy was trying to deny. Guy himself has wondered a lot. Why? Why did Veldanava let him live? Because he was strong? No, Veldanava could make anyone stronger than him if he wanted to. But then, why? He has asked himself this question thousands of times, but the answer always remains hidden. He still remembers how Veldanava didn't hesitate to kill anyone who threatened his world, to the point where he never asked Velzard to stop killing Veldora, his little brother. Veldora is a true dragon, so he never really dies, but the same is true for Guy. For him, death is nothing more than a long sleep. I was the one who saved your pathetic life and you are arguing with me? You useless piece of shit. The answer that he was searching for, how long has it been, he can't even remember, but Rimuru has finally given him the answer that he was searching for. Do you want to hear any more? No. I don't want to talk about that fucking bastard. The meeting is already done anyway. So have a nice day. Goodbye. Rimuru stands from his seat and storms out of the room in a very nasty mood. While leaving the room in a rage, his body released a little killing intent. The heavy atmosphere of the room finally lifted as Rimuru left. The killing intent that Rimuru's body released earlier was little to Rimuru, but for others it was too much to simply ignore. Lucky you, he would have killed you, but he finds it troublesome to take care of a world. Surprisingly, Velzard was the one who talked first, and most of the people were looking at her with a face that said, "What the hell are you saying to the strongest demon lord? Some foolish people. They don't know a thing about my and Rimuru's power." Velzard thought to herself with a disgusted look and ignored them. You were very close with Big Brother. Didn't he tell you to stay away from Rimuru? Or at least not mention his name in front of him? Velzard asked Guy. His reaction told her he didn't have a clue about Rimuru's existence, let alone about his past with Veldanava. I would have expected this reaction, Velzard said with a satisfactory smile, and then she continued. The relationship between my big brother and Rimuru was rather complicated. I myself have no clue about their past. Every time I ask Rimuru about their past, he outright denies telling me anything. On the other hand, my brother always changed the topic when I asked him about their past. That explains everything. Why didn't he tell anything to Guy? Veldanava didn't tell Velzard anything about Rimuru, so why would he tell Guy? But it just makes everyone more curious about Rimuru's past. What was he hiding? Something that he cannot even tell Velzard, his sole reason for being alive? Hell, I didn't even know just how long they have known each other. Velzard spat angrily as she gritted her teeth. Something she didn't know about him. She hated this the most. A part of his life, and she didn't have any clue about it. Truly a very unpleasant feeling. But her words made things worse for others as their curiosity only reached a whole new level. What was his relationship with Veldanava? Why was he hiding his past from everyone? What happened between Veldanava and Rimuru? How old is Rimuru? How strong is he to be able to threaten Guy, even when Velzard warns him? The only thing that I knew about their relationship was that they hate each other. No, to be precise, Rimuru hates my big brother, but he didn't tell me the reason, tch. But my brother never did say anything to him about his hate. That only means. Velzard didn't finish her sentence, but they all understood that Veldanava had done something very horrible to Rimuru, to the point that he was not able to say anything to Rimuru out of guilt. And that made Velzard more confident that Rimuru didn't simply hate Veldanava for no reason. That cleared everyone's confusion about why Rimuru reacted that strongly against Guy's comment, but it also made them extremely curious. Chapter 46. Anger, Hatred, and Respect. After storming off from the conference room, I arrived at my house and directly entered the bedroom. Without any hesitation, I just lay on the bed, stretching my hands as much as I could while staring at the ceiling with half-closed, blank eyes filled with hatred. Currently, Shizue and the children are living here, but my room is still empty. When Ramiris finished creating the labyrinth, Veldora, without wasting any time, shifted to the 100th floor. That stupid otaku dragon. I swear, if he troubles me today, it will be his last day living peacefully. On second thought, he is still better than his big brother, Veldanava. God, or many call him as such, but to me, he was a good companion. A little annoying, maybe, but reliable. Still, why did he bind me in the chain of a vow? I hate him for that. He destroyed my life with a single promise. How can a simple vow make me, a supreme deity, this miserable? How can it fill half of my life with misery and pain? How is this possible? Rather than how, I want to know why. Even someone like Seal-san didn't have the answer to my question. Why did he make me vouch for that oath? What was the reason? Why didn't he tell me anything? I thought we were at least friends. But I guess that was just my delusion. Seal-san, why did he do that? Sorry, master. I cannot tell because of insufficient information. I am really useless, master. It was not your fault. It was that lizard's fault, so don't blame yourself. Thank you, master. Don't worry about it. Okay then, Seal-san, start the sleep mode. It is advised to use your female form while sleeping. My female form? Oh, now I remember. You did something with my female form, didn't you? The last time I used it, I became human. And what is with the sensitivity of that body? Even a simple touch aroused me that much. Really, Seal-san? I was just wondering if you did something or not, but seems like you really did something with my female form. Negative. Velzard is the one who asked me. I only performed the modification. Sigh. There is no way I can win an argument with you. Let's forget about it and start the sleeping mode. Regarding the female form, yeah, use it. I know you will not do something that will harm me anyway. Do whatever. No, I am not going to say that cursed line again. The last time I said the same thing to Veldanava, that bastard took advantage of me. Arg, just do it. All right. After that sentence, I saw my body glow and my eyes started to feel heavy as I fell asleep. Third-person POV. While Rimuru was sleeping peacefully in his house, the conference room was in complete chaos. A minute after Rimuru left the room, Veldora entered the room bravely. Of course, Velzard was also present there, so he needed to gather a lot of courage to enter. But due to the emergency of the situation, he decided to sacrifice himself. Rimuru will save me anyway. That is what he thought before entering the room. Rimuru! With a loud bang, Veldora entered the room, but to his utter surprise, Rimuru was not there. Era, my little brother is also here. So, what brings you here, Veldora? Velzard's voice entered Veldora's ears as a cold chill ran down his spine. His whole body started to shudder and tremble in horror as his voice got stuck in his throat. Nothing. I just felt that Rimuru's emotions were very weird, so I came here to see the situation, Veldora said while trembling as his sister's eyes scanned his body. She stared intensely at him with her blue eyes but didn't find any lies, so she let him go, or so he thought. Emotions? Are you saying you have a soul corridor between you and Rimuru? Her voice was sharp and full of coldness, causing a bitter smile to appear on Veldora's face. Shit, why did I come here in the first place? The cold look of my sister will kill me. What should I do? What should I do? Oh, how could I forget about my skills? Ha ha ha. The storm dragon Veldora will take you head on. Well, he thought so, but they say there is a mile of difference between doing and thinking. That also applied to Veldora. He activated his ultimate skill, probability manipulation, and maximized his probability to escape safely from his sister. Holy cow! How did I forget to answer her question? Yes. Silence filled the whole room as killing intent started to escape from Velzard's body. Her eyes trembled slightly as she looked at Veldora. With a huge sigh, she calmed herself. Anger would not do any good. She had to ask him about Rimuru's condition, but she was also very jealous of him. He had a soul corridor between himself and Rimuru, and to make matters worse, Rimuru didn't even try to conceal his emotions from Veldora. Rimuru never let her feel his emotions in the past when they had the soul corridor between them, but he let his guard down against Veldora that easily. Why? I have to ask Rimuru to build a soul corridor between us. And I also have to ask Veldora for some tips. This is actually very amusing. This useless brother of mine, who knew nothing but rampaging in the past, has now forced me to ask for his help and tips. So, Veldora, what did you feel earlier that made you come here? If I am not mistaken, you said weird emotions, right? What was weird about his emotions? Velzard asked with a sweet voice. Everyone was startled for a while after hearing Velzard's tone. A second ago she was showing Veldora her killing intent, but now she was talking like they were really good siblings. For a while it felt like she was talking with Rimuru. Did my skill work? Ha ha ha. Storm Dragon Veldora is truly invincible. Contrary to his assumption, the real reason was the trust between him and Rimuru. But we can say that those thoughts only crossed Velzard's mind amid jealousy due to the influence of his skill, so it is not wrong to say that, once again, his skill saved his skin from his sister. I felt something very weird. It was anger. No, it was hatred. But there was a strange feeling of happiness and deep respect. Veldora replied without missing a beat. Hatred along with respect and happiness? Veldora's words only made them more confused and curious. So Rimuru hates my brother but also respects him. That is pretty strange. Okay then, Veldora. I have something to ask of you in private. With that, Velzard also left the conference along with Veldora. The whole of Tempest was in chaos. No, not the citizens, but the executives of Tempest. An emergency meeting had been called. Every higher-level executive looked troubled for some reason, especially a black-haired butler and 3 beautiful ladies. If I had known Guy was going to upset Lord Rimuru, I would have killed him before he reached Tempest, Diablo said with a disgusted voice. How dare he upset Lord Rimuru? I will make sure he pays for his massive sins. Should I kill him now? Maybe Rimuru-sama will feel better, Ultima said with a serious expression on her young face. Didn't you hear what Velzard-sama said? Rimuru-sama didn't kill Guy because he didn't want him dead, Testarossa, who was present in the meeting room, said with a wry smile. Arg. There is nothing we can do if Rimuru-sama didn't want it. Humph, Ultima replied with a troubled look. And here she thought she could finally rampage a bit. How about we plan a surprise party especially for Rimuru-sama? Shuna suggested, intervening between Testa and Ultima before they started to argue with each other. What a splendid idea. As expected of Shunadano, Diablo said with a satisfied smile. His lord loves food more than anything, so of course, he would love a surprise party. Fufu, hee. I don't think we need to do anything, Shizue said with a little giggle. She loves seeing how much they love Rimuru, but sometimes they overdo it, just like now. Of course, Rimuru would like the party and all, but don't look at me like that. You all know yourselves that Rimuru likes food. But there is a difference between liking and loving, Shizue mysteriously said as she stood up from her seat, ready to leave. Wait, Shizu-san, have you already done something? Your smile is saying it all. Shuna asked her, a little surprised. Looks like they underestimated Shizue's influence over Rimuru. All the executives also looked surprised. Who knows? But it is very likely Velzard-san already has something planned, seeing just how calm and cool she was. In Shizue's opinion, it was meaningless to worry about Rimuru as long as Velzard was here. They have known each other for more than 18,000 years. That is why Shizue was sure Velzard would find a way to soothe Rimuru, and besides, Rimuru and Velzard love each other very much. so Shizue decided to put her trust in their love. Ha! Velzard-sama? How did we forget about her? Rimuru said with a shocked look. Maybe it had only been a day since Velzard came to Tempest, but it was very clear that she is Rimuru's lover. How could he, who has 2 wives, forget about Velzard? She only arrived at Tempest yesterday. Many of us didn't even know she was here until a few hours ago, Zijin said, and the other labyrinth guardians just nodded their heads in agreement. I hope my plan works, Shizue thought to herself as she left the meeting room with a smile. Chapter 47, Velzard's Generous Heart. With a new day comes new hope, and the bright morning brings new possibilities for everyone, especially children, the future of every country, and the world. Children are special, the most lovely and innocent existence that doesn't have an understanding of good and bad. The only thing they know is love, a feeling that they might not fully explain, but even so, they can feel it, sense it, and somewhat understand it. That is why they believe in it. The concept of good and bad, and the difference between bad and evil, they judge all things based on love. How much that person loves them and how much they love that person. Their judgment is based on love, their very origin, the proof of love between 2 people. And the 5 children, not so naive, are running happily on the streets of Tempest toward their home. A smile can be seen on everyone's face as they laugh while running. The reason for their happiness? Because today, their teacher, surprisingly, decided to give them a half-day off from school. This meant their school was over at lunchtime, so they were all in a very good mood. How amazing! Sensei gave us a half-day off, Kenya said with a goofy smile. Today I have a good feeling. Something good is going to happen, Chloe said while running beside Kenya and the others. Yeah, maybe Chloe is right, Alice said as they all stopped. Their destination had arrived. Kenya opened the door and entered the house, with the others closely following him. What about Veldora-san? Ryota asked while closing the door, being the last one to enter the house. When I visited Veldora-san yesterday, he looked pale and horrified for some reason. Kenya replied to him while throwing his bag into his room, only to hear a lecture on manners from Chloe and Alice. Hey, guys, did you feel? Before Chloe could finish her words, she felt a distortion in space near her as a person with snow-white hair and golden eyes appeared. Her looks could be simply defined as divine, and her body was giving off an aura of nobility. Beautiful, Alice muttered to herself as she looked at Velzard with sparkling eyes. Velzard-san, Chloe said, a little startled. She didn't expect her to appear here without any notice or anything. Velzard-san, wait, do you mean the white ice dragon, Velzard? Kenya asked, a little excited and scared. You mean the person who is stronger than Rimuru-sensei? Gale said with wide eyes. How could they not recognize her? She is the only person in the whole multiverse who can make even their sensei scared. She is the role model for Kenya and the other children who are aiming to surpass Rimuru. You, Chloe, right? Chloe just nodded in response. The other kids looked shocked seeing Chloe know Velzard. And you all are the students of Rimuru? Velzard again asked sweetly. Chloe felt a little uncomfortable seeing how friendly she was behaving compared to their first meeting, where she genuinely tried to kill her. Why are you home early? Aren't you having school today? Oh, Shizu-sensei gave us a half-day off for some reason. I see, Velzard said softly and nodded to herself. She understood everything with just a few hints. So that's Shizu's plan. Even though she has only known Rimuru for 3 years at most, her observation skills are too good. She knows just how much Rimuru loves kids. That's why she sent them home early, so that they can calm Rimuru's emotions a little. After that, she will try to soothe his remaining anger with her words and bond. How cunning of you, Shizu. I'm glad you aren't my love rival, otherwise you would have been my biggest obstacle. Velzard thought to herself and sighed in relief. Shizue was not her love rival, after all. Looks like Rimuru is sleeping upstairs because he isn't moving. Are you all also coming upstairs with me? Velzard asked them, and after thinking for a while, they just nodded, even though Chloe was nodding before Velzard could even finish her sentence. With that said, they all silently made their way to the second floor, not wanting to wake up Rimuru. The door made a little clicking noise as Velzard opened it, but to their relief, Rimuru didn't seem to wake up from the sound. Velzard entered the room and blushed in amazement. Rimuru was sleeping in his bed while his back was facing the door, but the main thing was that he was in his, or should I say her, female form. Velzard knows better than anyone just how much Rimuru hates his female form. But now she was sleeping peacefully in her female form without a care in the world. It must be Seal's doing. With that thought, Velzard silently made her way toward Rimuru. "Don't be surprised and make sure to not make any noise," Velzard warned all the children, but it only made them confused until they saw Rimuru from the front. "Eh?" Even after Velzard's warning, they couldn't help but shout in surprise. But to their relief, Velzard had already put a barrier around them. "Is she really Rimuru-sensei?" Kenya said with an utterly surprised look. "Wow, Rimuru-sensei was very beautiful in his male form, but this is beyond my human comprehension. I cannot handle it," Alice said with sparkling eyes. The only ones who weren't affected were Chloe and Velzard, because Velzard had already seen Rimuru in her female form many times, and Chloe had already experienced Rimuru's beauty once, even though she had only seen her from afar. Fufu. What an opportunity. So this is called a once-in-a-trillion chance. Thank you, Shizu-sensei. I will not waste the opportunity that you have unknowingly created for me. And then, without a second thought, Chloe jumped into the bed and lay down next to Rimuru while hugging her from behind. "I'm sleeping with Sensei. Good night, and don't you dare disturb me," Chloe said and closed her eyes. What is heaven? This is heaven. Sleeping with Sensei while hugging her like this is the best. The sweet smell of Sensei's body is heavenly. And the best part is, because currently I'm just a kid in this form, even Velzard-san can't say anything to me. Fufu, well, I have left the best spot for her after all. Velzard was astonished at Chloe's actions, but she was clever enough to see that the side Rimuru was facing was left open for her. Anger started to build inside Velzard, but what could she do? Currently, Chloe was just a mere child like the other kids present here. It would be troublesome if Chloe suddenly transformed into an adult. Velzard found herself in a dilemma. She couldn't even expose Chloe's real identity. Everyone in the room was speechless for a while until Velzard spoke up again. Ahem. Suddenly, I'm also feeling a little sleepy, so I'm also going to sleep with Rimuru, Velzard said while faking a cough to catch everyone's attention. She decided to let it slide for once. But if Chloe decided to make a move on her Rimuru next time, I leave it to your imagination. Wait a minute. True dragons do not need to sleep. Veldora-san never sleeps, and even if you want to sleep, it is not appropriate for adult people to sleep with each other, Alice said with a sharp glare. I will not let you corrupt my innocent sensei. Alice thought to herself as she huffed happily, feeling a little proud for some reason. Huh? Oh, you all may not be aware, but Rimuru and I are engaged lovers, so it's all right. Your face is telling me you are just jealous. But I will be generous today. If you want to sleep with my Rimuru, you can sleep. Only for today, though, Velzard said with a smirk, especially emphasizing the word my. The children were yet again shocked. Rimuru-sensei has a fiancé, which means he is already taken. Alice, who had a crush on Rimuru, felt her mood drop immediately. Velzard ignored her and snapped her fingers, and the size of the bed increased. Initially, the bed had enough space for 3 people, but now its size had doubled. No, it was even bigger. Who wants to sleep with Sensei? Humph, I don't want to. While Alice's mouth said no, her actions said otherwise because, without wasting a single second, she lay next to Chloe. Is this what Rimuru calls a tsundere moment? Velzard thought to herself with an amused smile. She sighed softly and decided to sleep. She carefully grabbed Rimuru's hand, pulled it upward, lay down on Rimuru's left arm, and then put Rimuru's other arm around her waist and hugged her neck. The boys were dumbfounded after seeing the scene. What should we do? That was the question all 3 of them wanted to ask each other. But they didn't say anything until Kenya finally spoke. A chance to have a nap with my idol? Only a stupid person would miss this chance. With that, Kenya lay down next to Velzard, soon followed by Ryota and Gale. Unknown to them, Another woman with platinum blue hair and blood-red eyes appeared next to Alice. Sigh, what a troublesome kid she is, shifting this much in her sleep. Master will be mad if she falls from the bed, so I guess I have to sleep next to her so as not to let her fall. This reason is justified. Yes. Velzard also said she will let us sleep with Master today. While muttering to herself, Seal also lay down to sleep next to Alice. Unknown to her, a small smile appeared on her cold face as she also fell asleep.